Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Indonesia's flood death toll jumps to nearly 600 after rare tropical storm triggers mudslides and floodwaters in parts of Sumatra. Over 1.4 million people affected. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy meets French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. The agenda includes discussions on the conditions for a just and durable peace. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the country is moving towards new heights and Parliament will play a vital role in infusing new energy and strength into that journey. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged the opposition to focus on delivering a productive winter parliament session. The Prime Minister was addressing journalists ahead of the commencement of the winter session of the 18th Lok Sabha at Parliament House. He called on the opposition to raise relevant and strong issues.
कोई भी दल हो, हमें किसी को भी हमारी ये नई पीढ़ी के आ रहे नौजवान सांसद, पहली बार आए हुए सांसद, उनको अवसर देना चाहिए। उनके अनुभवों का हमें सदन को लाभ मिलना चाहिए। इस नई पीढ़ी के अनुभव सदन के माध्यम से राष्ट्र को भी लाभान्वित करेंगे और इसलिए मेरा आग्रह रहेगा कि हम इन चीजों को गंभीरता से लें। ड्रामा करने के लिए जगह बहुत होती है, जिसको करना है करते रहें। यहां ड्रामा नहीं, डिलीवरी होनी चाहिए। नारे के लिए भी जितने नारे बुलवाने हैं वो पूरा देश खाली पड़ा है। जहां पराजित होकर के आए वहां बोल चुके हो, जहां अभी पराजय के लिए जाने वाले हो वहां भी बोल दीजिए, लेकिन यहां तो नारे नहीं, नीति पर बल देना चाहिए।
Now, proceedings of both the Houses of Parliament have been adjourned till 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time till Tuesday. Before the adjournment, Lok Sabha passed the Manipur Goods and Services Tax Second Amendment Bill 2025 after Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman moved the bill for consideration and passing. The bill further to amend the Manipur Goods and Services Tax Act 2017. The Finance Minister also introduced two other bills in the lower house of Parliament to levy excise duty on tobacco and tobacco products and a new cess on manufacturing of pan masala, which will replace the GST compensation cess on such goods. The Central Excise Amendment Bill 2025 will replace the GST compensation cess, which is currently levied on all tobacco products. Also, the Health Security National Security Cess Bill 2025 will augment resources for meeting the expenditure on national security and public health and levies a cess for the said purposes on the machines installed or other processes undertaken. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met France's President Emmanuel Macron in Paris on Monday. The two leaders are discussing the conditions of a just and durable peace following talks in Geneva and the American peace plan. US and Ukrainian officials held what both sides called productive talks on Sunday about a Russian peace deal, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio expressing optimism about progress despite challenges to end the more than 3-year-long conflict. And Ukraine's defense minister attended a meeting in Brussels on Monday. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said that it could be a pivotal week for diplomacy on Ukraine as she arrived for the EU defense ministers' meeting.
It is clear that Russia does not want peace, and therefore we need to make Ukraine as stronger as possible in order to them to be ready to stand up for themselves in this very, very difficult time. It could be a pivotal week for diplomacy.
Now, the Kremlin said on Monday that a Ukrainian attack on the Caspian Pipeline Consortium infrastructure was outrageous, given its international significance and international participation. The project, which includes Russian, Kazakh and US shareholders, said on Saturday that one of the 3 mooring points at its Novorossiysk terminal in Russia had been damaged by a Ukrainian drone attack and that its operations had been halted. In a call with journalists, the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, called the Ukrainian attack outrageous. He criticized Ukrainian sea drone attacks on oil tankers in the Black Sea as well.
Атаки украинских дронов на объекты критической инфраструктуры.
The practice of Ukrainian drone attacks on critical infrastructure continues. Our relevant agencies are providing security and necessary measures are being taken. However, it sometimes happens that, for one reason or another, critical infrastructure facilities are damaged. This particular attack is outrageous, given its international significance and the involvement of international partners.
В данном случае, конечно, это вопиющий случай, потому что.
And Peskov also said that Russian President Vladimir Putin is due to meet US envoy Steve Witkoff in Moscow on Tuesday to take the discussions forward on a peace plan for Ukraine. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has defended the H-1B visa program, saying that the US economy has greatly benefited from Indian immigrants. He made the comments during a podcast with Indian entrepreneur Nikhil Kamath. Musk said that the US needs highly skilled workers from India more than ever before, while also criticizing some outsourcing companies for misusing the visa system. Musk said that his companies constantly struggle to fill specialized positions because there is always a shortage of talented people. His remarks come at a time when the H-1B program in President Trump's second term has acknowledged the need for skilled foreign workers, but has also taken a stricter regulatory approach. A Bangladesh court has sentenced British parliamentarian and former Minister Tulip Siddique in absentia to 2 years in jail on Monday in a corruption case involving the alleged illegal allocation of a plot of land. Siddique, who resigned in January as UK's Minister responsible for financial services and anti-corruption efforts, following scrutiny over financial ties to Sheikh Hasina, has previously dismissed the allegations as a politically motivated smear. Britain does not have any extradition treaty with Bangladesh. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar stressed on strengthening biosecurity for the Global South as the 50th Biological Weapons Convention Anniversary Conference began in Delhi. The minister said that India emphasizes on the need for the Global South to shape the convention's direction and underscores its sustained commitment to health and bioscience sectors.
The Global South is the most vulnerable and has the most to gain from stronger biosecurity. It also has the most to contribute. Its voice must therefore shape the next 50 years of the BWC. India recognizes this responsibility. India remains committed to full and effective implementation of the BWC. Over the last 2 decades, we have built strong capacities across public health, pharmaceuticals, vaccines, and biosciences. India is known for a reason as the pharmacy of the world.
The minister said that India has built robust biosecurity resilience with strong research institutions, advanced biosafety facilities, and a private sector capable of scaling, innovating, and reaching global markets.
India makes 60% of the world's vaccine. India supplies over 20% of global generic medicines, with 60% of Africa's generics coming from India. India is home to nearly 11,000 biotech startups, up from just 50 in 2014. Now, it is the 3rd largest biotech startup ecosystem worldwide. Our health care investment has grown sharply with major progress in digital health. Our research network, ICMR, the DBT labs, the advanced BSL-3 and BSL-4 facilities, they can detect and respond to a wide range of biological threats. India's strong private sector has amplified this resilience. It has demonstrated an ability to scale production, to innovate under pressure, and managed a global outreach.
Now, Airbus fleets are returning to normal operations after the European plane maker rushed to get airlines to fix a critical software bug affecting more than 6,000 Airbus A320 aircraft. For the latest, we turn to DW's Chiponda Chembulu in Berlin. Well, hi Chiponda, what's the situation now with Airbus?
Thanks for having me. Well, over the weekend, airlines around the world were scrambling to fix a software glitch on Airbus A320 jets. And that was part of a partial recall by the European plane maker Airbus. Now, according to reports, it is suspected that solar radiation could interfere with onboard flight control computers, but that link is still yet to be proven. But what we do know is that last weekend, airlines worked through the night to get the software issue fixed after global aviation authorities told them they had to resolve the issue before A320 planes could take off. And the good news is that there was very little travel disruption. Several major airlines reported that they had already made the software update by Saturday, and only one airline in the United States canceled dozens of flights on Sunday. So it does, of course, seem like the worst kind of travel disruption was avoided. This, of course, happened on Thanksgiving weekend in the US, which is one of the busiest times for air travel there.
Well, that's fortunate, Chiponda, but how's the situation elsewhere?
In Europe, the alert for airlines to make this update came at a time when European airlines were winding down their schedules to leave time for repairs. And that is what seems to have helped keep travel disruption to a minimum. And it was a similar story in most parts of Asia, except perhaps for Japan, where All Nippon Airways canceled 95 flights on Saturday, and that affected 13,500 travelers over there. Now, globally, there are over 11,000 A320 jets in service, and just over half of those are the core model of the plane which was affected. Now, many of them are flown by large airlines and the busiest low-cost carriers around the world. Now, fortunately, this software fix takes 2 to 3 hours for most of the affected planes, and that is generally about the amount of time a plane may be parked before another flight. So it does appear that that may have also helped prevent major travel disruption.
Okay, that sounds good. People escaped a lot of inconvenience. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Chiponda Chembulu from Berlin. But shares of Airbus have fallen more than 10% on Monday in Paris, following the reports that quality problems with fuselage panels had delayed delivery of some of its A320 aircraft. So problems still persist with Airbus as a company. Now let's have a look at some other stories from around the world as well. Pope Leo visited Lebanon on Monday, warmly greeting cheering crowds as he made his way to the tomb of Saint Charbel at the monastery of Saint Maroon, honoring the revered saint and continuing his regional mission. This visit follows a 4-day trip to Turkey. Spanish police said on Monday they had dismantled Spain's first known cell linked to the base, a white supremacist group designed or designated as a terror organization in the EU in Castillo. The suspects, described as highly radicalized, had conducted paramilitary training, recruited via social media, and possessed firearms, knives and neo-Nazi materials in a move aimed at curbing rising far-right radicalization in the country. Brussels launched Christmas season with Echoes of Colours, a 5-minute sound and light show projected onto the City Hall Tower at the Grand Place to entertain and delight residents and tourists with festive illuminations presented through vibrant projections and citywide Christmas decorations. It will run till the 1st of January. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Hong Kong fire death toll rises to 151. Indian naval ship Sukanya reaches Trincomalee in Sri Lanka with relief materials. And the 4th edition of Kashi Tamil Sangamam is set to begin on the 2nd of December, that's Tuesday.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you. You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DDN.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, the toll in the deadly flooding and landslides across parts of Asia has climbed past the 1100 mark on Monday as the hardest hit Indonesia and Sri Lanka deployed military personnel to help survivors. Rescue teams and residents in Indonesia's West Sumatra battled to clear roads blocked by mud and debris, while improving weather revealed the scale of a disaster which has killed 600 people in Indonesia. A further 464 remain missing. The country's disaster management agency said more than 28,000 homes have been damaged in Indonesia and 1.4 million people are affected. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto visited the 3 affected provinces on Monday and praised residents for their spirit in the face of what he called a catastrophe. The government has sent 3 warships carrying aid and 2 hospital ships to some of the worst hit areas where many roads remain impassable. The Indian naval ship Sukanya has arrived at the port of Trincomalee on Monday carrying essential relief supplies for communities affected by the recent catastrophic floods in Sri Lanka. The offshore patrol vessel delivered food items and emergency equipment to support ongoing rescue and relief operations. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar confirmed the arrival of X, highlighting the continued humanitarian assistance provided by India. Cyclone Ditwa has left behind a trail of devastation with over 1.1 million people affected, 355 confirmed deaths and 366 still missing across the 25 districts of Sri Lanka. Also under Operation Sagar Bandhu, the relief assets sent by India are now fully engaged across multiple disaster-hit districts, strengthening local rescue and recovery efforts amid rising casualties and persistent risks of flooding and landslides. The National Disaster Response Force has been conducting rescue missions in Badulla, which has been the worst hit by landslides during the cyclone Ditwa. The NDRF has already recovered 3 bodies, while search for more bodies and survivors remains on. The bodies have been respectfully handed over to the local authorities. Hong Kong authorities have confirmed alarming lapses in fire safety at the Wang Fu Court estate, where at least 151 people died in last week's devastating blaze. Officials said on Monday that more than 20 mesh samples were tested and 7 of them, taken from 4 of the estate's 7 towers, failed to meet fire retardant standards. Investigators revealed that the green mesh wrapped around bamboo scaffolding on the buildings did not match required fire-resistant specifications, raising fresh questions about compliance and oversight. Meanwhile, police teams continue sweeping the charred towers, discovering more victims in stairwells and on rooftops where residents became trapped while trying to escape the fast-spreading fire. Hong Kong police have now arrested 13 people so far on suspicion of manslaughter.
Found that 7 of them did not meet the standards. We found that many of the samples that can be easily obtained by hand are more qualified. Some of the samples that are far from reach are more likely to be unqualified. We will continue to obtain more samples for further investigation. the speed of the fire is not normal. We believe that the protective mesh and the styrofoam are the cause of the fire.
Now, the fourth edition of Kashi Tamil Sangamam will begin on Tuesday, highlighting the deep civilizational and cultural ties between Tamil Nadu and Kashi. Centered on the theme, Let Us Learn Tamil Karkalam, this year's edition places Tamil language learning at its core. Key initiatives include Tamil Karkalam, that is Tamil teaching in Varanasi schools, Tamil Karpom, that is study tours for 300 students from the Kashi region to learn Tamil, and the Sage Agastya vehicle expedition, which retraces the ancient cultural route from Tenkasi to Kashi. Now, on the sidelines of the 12th CII Big Picture Summit in Mumbai, India's Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, in partnership with the Confederation of Indian Industries, organized Wave X, the country's first dedicated national startup accelerator for films, animation, VFX, gaming, comics, extended reality and media technology sectors. INB Secretary Sanjay Jaju visited the Wave X venue, interacting with participants and emphasizing the government's commitment to nurturing India's rapidly expanding creative tech ecosystem. Wave X aims to support creators, founders, studios and creative technologists by helping them transform innovative ideas into scalable ventures.
Great initiative by CII and the government to bring all emerging companies and otherwise also larger companies in the media space in a collective forum where people can look at interesting opportunities both to invest as well as companies looking to raise funds can kind of come here and look for investors which will be relevant for them.
It's come from the INB ministry and CII, so I think people take it seriously, and when they meet you as a creator or when a creator meets an investor, there's an element of seriousness to that discussion. It's not just another platform that's just a junket, and I think that is very important.
Israel's Defense Ministry, in collaboration with Tel Aviv University, organized a Defense Tech Week, showcasing upcoming and existing state-of-the-art defense equipment and technologies. It has attracted startups, military industry leaders, students and defense enthusiasts from around the world. DD India's Akshay Dogre reports from Tel Aviv.
So right now we are in Tel Aviv, Israel, and the place where we are at is the Tel Aviv University, which is also hosting the Defense Tech Week 2025. Now, it's like a conference that has been held for the defense industry of Israel, which is in fact one of the highest and most sophisticated defense industries in the world. Standing here, there are startups, there are legacy companies here like the Rafael system, which is displaying all of its state-of-the-art technology. For example, this is an iron beam. It looks like a Hollywood style of a weapon. Sci-fi fiction coming true on the battlefield, and the good news is that the system that is capable of killing targets up to 10 kilometers will be integrated into the world-renowned Iron Dome system of Israel. The IAI is also a major firm here that is mostly into the unmanned aerial vehicles, but there is a range of other missiles and weapon defense systems that have been developed by the IAI. It has also worked with the Indian defense system. For example, when it comes to Heron Mark II UAVs that are being used by the Indian Army, the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy now as well. So it has been one of the most state-of-the-art UAV system in the world. Elbit system also is here. It talks about how the military defense ecosystem works here in Israel, how it is one of the most efficient systems, despite the smaller size of Israel, despite the smaller population of the country. When it comes to defense system, Israel has been perhaps one country that has thwarted off all the threats in its neighborhood with most of indigenous systems that the country has developed. A big lesson for India, something that can be learned. And in fact, it's not just the people who are into the defense industry that have come here. There are students from university, there are startups, there are foreign delegates that are gathered to understand and to implement, collaborate with the Israeli defense industry. And as far as the conference is concerned, it's quite lively and it's going to go on for a week, and can see a lot of collaboration with foreign partners, including India as well, in these kind of different systems that can be quite effective and can be collaborated to further initiatives like Make in India as well. In Tel Aviv, Israel, Akshay Dongre for DD India.
Let's now talk sports. Punjab National Bank has appointed Indian women's cricket team captain Harmanpreet Kaur as its new brand ambassador. As an important personality in Indian cricket, she has contributed to countless historic victories. Recently, Harmanpreet Kaur led India to a historic ICC Women's ODI World Cup win in the starting of November. This collaboration is intended to result in fresh campaigns promoting financial literacy, women's empowerment and sports involvement. With Harmanpreet Kaur as its face, PNB not only improves its brand presence but also delivers a powerful message about promoting talent, tenacity and leadership.
मुझे यहाँ पर खड़ा देखकर many girls are going to be inspired, because जैसे कि this is first women cricketer who is going to be brand ambassador of PNB, and I think in future many more girls will come and be brand ambassador of many big companies and many big banks, I would say. And I think I just want to thank a lot, because this is going to be game changing moment for many girls, because क्रिकेट में हम जो कर सकते थे हमने वो करके दिखाया, बट नाउ द सपोर्ट वी वांट फ्रॉम इंडियन पब्लिक, इंडियन फैंस, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी गेम चेंजिंग मोमेंट फॉर ऑल द गर्ल्स हु आर सिटिंग देयर. दे आर गोइंग टू गेट लॉट ऑफ मोमेंट्स बैक होम आज मुझे यहाँ पर देखकर, एंड दे आर गोइंग टू ड्रीम बिग.
And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen to download the app right away. And we'll be back with more news that breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.